Of course Jesus lied. Because, you know, he wanted to say he could, you know, basically, in a time where there was magic, magicians, Jesus he probably did magic to entertain the people. And the people were like, whoa, how did he do that? Whoa. And the people were baffled. And this was a time when people believed, illnesses was evil spirits, and, you know, lightning and thunder was, God was angry, and all kinds of crazy, bogus superstitions, when science wasn't evolved. And then, Jesus was bragging, like, he said, oh, and because the people were just overwhelmed with magic tricks, how we did magic tricks, and then, you know, people believed everything he said, Of course Jesus lied. That's how he got his fame, you know. Just because you're a teacher, remember Jesus was Jewish first. He was a rabbi, you know, and then he left his religion to make Christianity. He was a Jew, and so of course he lied, and that's how he got his fame, you know. Because think about it, there's always people out there that can do amazing feats, where just amazing feats was magic, like magic today. But today we know, you know, um, like the disappearing thumb, or whatever, or the disappearing coin. Where'd the coin go? People know how that explained. But back then, people were so naive. They didn't even know how anything was explained. They thought that, illness and sickness was demons and monsters, that you were possessed. All kinds of superstitious stuff they believed. And if Jesus, was like a bragger, says, well, I can do magic tricks. And then people were like, whoa! And people believed in the gullibility, Jesus said he could walk on water, and people were like, whoa! And Jesus was like, oh, I am a God. And people were like, whoa, he's a God. Of course he lied, because he wanted to get notoriety and fame, And here's another reason why Jesus lied, because of the conflicting accounts. Some people, and these were his followers, some of his people said the tomb was open, some of them said it was closed. It was either open or closed. There would be no disagreements. You would know that. If Jesus said, and he did everything he did, and he resurrected, and he did everything he did, there would be no mistakes. Either the tomb was empty or the tomb was closed. And his followers in the book, says, well, these people said it was empty, these people said it was closed. So yeah, Jesus was a bragger and a liar. He might have been a friendly person. Was a carpenter, probably helped people out. But he definitely lied about all this miracles stuff, and but I have to say he probably wasn't a good person, because, if you read the Bible, he says, he wanted him to be worshipped and like leave your family and all this other bad things. So I think he was more of an early dictator, like a really early dictator. So he was good, but he was bad. He might have helped people, but he controlled people, and not in a good way. He scared people. He threatened people with hell, and so I think he had some issues. He probably had you know mental problems. He might have been a control freak. He wanted to take advantage. of people. That's what he did. So I don't think he probably was a good guy. Um, because there's a lot of bad things in the Bible that he commands you to do. He probably was selfish. And this is even if he existed. Remember, there's a lot of accounts that said this person didn't even exist. He could have been a legend, because there's people before Jesus that had the same initials, Julius Caesar. You know, the Romans said Jesus was created, was made up. So, to tell you the truth, this could all have been fictionalized. You know, this could all have been fake. Even even if he did exist, he wouldn't have been a good person. He would have been a control freak, and he would have been he would have been a liar and a deceiver, for people to believe in his magic. And so that's if he existed. You know, he wouldn't have really been a good person. You know, he said, yeah, he offered you this chance to live forever, but all these negative things come with it. But like I said, this was a time of superstition. If people could do magic tricks, people are going to look up to you. Like, you know, think about it this way: when Chris Angel walked on water, he levitated, or he walked up walls. People to this day, people can explain it. People to this day said, "This guy's possessed. This guy's a Satan worshiper." And Chris Angel's very religious. But once it was exposed by the Max Magician how he did all these things, people finally came to terms. You know, yes, even to this day, magicians will deceive you, and that's what Jesus was. If he existed, he was a magician who deceived people. And like I said, let's go back. You know, even if he existed, either the tomb was empty or closed, there would have been no disagreements. If this was witnessed by so many people and of his followers, got conflicting of accounts. So this means something is fishy. Either, you know, he existed, he was a liar, a deceiver, a magician, or he never existed and was all made up of a person that was closely resembled, but then this was made into a story to present this character as Jesus with magical powers and stuff. Remember, magic doesn't exist in real life. It's never been proven. The supernatural has never been proven. It doesn't exist. Like I said, I even had people who were different religions. They did magic and nothing happened, where there was Satanism or whatever. And the people that are in these haunted houses, the people that bought the home, that the people said the house were haunted, and they moved in, they said nothing ever happened in the house. They sued. Like I said, this is all made up. People either have emotional issues, want to make up stuff to get notoriety and fame, and that's how things become legend. Think about with King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. That's a legend. We don't even know this exists. We don't even know Arthur had a round table with knights. That could have been made up too. See, once you go, there's really no historicity for this stuff. You know? Once you go so back so far. So, just like Jesus didn't exist, it's all made up fiction. Same with the King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. It's all made up. You know? The only thing that was kind of a non-fiction fiction was Dracula. But like I said, this Dracula person that they portray in the movie is a totally different Dracula person. You know, he wasn't a vampire just drinking people's blood. He was more of just a regular person, but mad. But he was an evil person, but he executed people, but he didn't like drink people's blood like become a vampire and fly in the air. See, they make this person out to be superstitious people. So whether Jesus existed, he probably, if he did exist, was a regular person, and then the people made up these fantasy tales of him being a supernatural person that can do all these feats, or he probably never did exist. So like I said, you know, it goes back to Chris Angel. When he walked on water, when he climbed up the walls, people People to this day, and this in 3,000 years old, people are acting like they were 3,000 years ago. They're like, wow, this guy is possessed. This guy is Satanist. This guy's a worships Satan. He's a demon. He can walk on water. He can climb the building. He can levitate. But it was all exposed for the master magician how he done all this. Same thing with Jesus. You could compare Jesus to Chris Angel. You know, Jesus was a magician. Chris Angel was a magician. Chris Angel deceived people with magic. Jesus deceived people with magic.